Okay, what's up, people? Hope everyone is doing good. Let me just check I'm connected to the right mic. Looks like I am. What's up, people? Hope you're all doing good. Good to be back for the second day in a row. Let's keep up the consistency. Hope everyone is doing good. As always, we'll go through a bunch of markets as we always do. If you have any requests, drop it in the chat. Excuse me. And we shall go through and take a look. Any pairs you're trading, any pairs on your watch list, feel free to let us know in the chat and we shall discuss. I do have a couple positions to get through and share with you guys. Of course, if you were on the stream yesterday, you would know that we were, or at least I was, long on USDCAD. So we'll give an update on that trade and what the plan is. And I recently just hopped into some shorts on pound USD as well. Both very similar trades, both look and take advantage of USD strength. So there is some alignment there in terms of the both probably will win or fail, but I don't mind because they're on the 8 hour chart, slightly higher time frame. So the risk in terms of news, in terms of pips as well, is a little bit less as well. So I don't mind it doubling up too much on the higher time frames. But yeah, we'll go into those trades in detail and then we'll take a look at the watch list for the rest of the week, where my focus is, what the plan is with other pairs, and how we're looking to manage this week as well. But if you weren't here yesterday, like I said, I did take some longs on dollar CAD, which we're in a bit of profit at the moment. I do have an alert there just above where price is trading, which is actually where I've got my 1R profit target, initial profit target for the trade. So I will look to manage the trade once we get to this specific point there. I will look to trail stops and take some partials. The idea of the trade is looking for a bigger swing back to resistance there, but I'm not as confident with this one with dollar CAD. Pound USD looks a little bit cleaner, which I just hopped into this morning, which I said again, we'll go through. But dollar CAD, the reason why I like this position is because of where we're located and the opportunity in terms of the entry and the stop loss. I can keep my risk fairly managed. Of course, the stop loss is about 40 pips, which is a bit sizable, but for 8 hour charts, actually not bad. And the location of where I've got my entry relative to support and the stop loss as well. We had a really aggressive wick piercing that low. I think we had some CAD news last Friday. Really aggressive piercing wick. And now I'm looking to see if I can catch the follow through off that wick there. And so far, momentum's picked up pretty nicely. Had a really strong close a couple candles ago on this candle, just as we were heading to the end of the day. It looks like momentum is starting to slightly pick up for kind of end of London session, picking up to New York. So if we can hit that price point, great. The area which I'm keeping a very close eye on is this area here, which is 1.402 to 1.404. That's basically a strong supply zone, which could inflict some havoc on this position. If dollar CAD is going to see a continuation of this bearish momentum, then that zone there is probably the zone that's going to give us that continuation. So it's good to see that my 1R is below that, not above that. I did factor that in when taking the position, because if my initial profit target is above a key area, it doesn't really make much sense. Of course, you don't know if price is going to react at that level or not, but equally so, you do want to have your initial targets, before a big area of resistance, supply, etc. So we'll see if we're going to take some partials there and remove risk on dollar CAD. Hopefully by the end of the day there. Like I said, pound USD just hopped into some shorts very early on in this position as well. Similar trade idea, both taking advantage of USD strength. Should we see some, we'll take a look at the DXY in a moment. But again, hopped into some shorts here for dollar CAD. Had the entry signal actually on this bearish candle, but that closed at 10 o'clock, which is actually 12 p.m. here in Kigali, which I'm asleep, unfortunately. So if the market did drop from that candle, I would have missed the entry. But thankfully so, we had a bit of a doji the next 8-hour candle, which allowed me to find an entry basically where I want it to be. This is the level which I'm looking at price, basically faking to the upside, then reclaiming. We had a lovely test of price support here, turn resistance, and essentially my entry is on the reclaim as price claws back underneath the level. So the plan is to see if we can get a continuation back to the low. In terms of momentum, really nice bearish leg here, and all I'm looking to do is bet on the continuation of that for some follow through back to lows. We may go even further, depends what USD is doing. but I'm liking the opportunity here. The only thing I don't like about the trade is that we are trading in the middle of this support level here. But again, not to worry, because my 1 hour take profit is roughly in that area as well. So should price push down and then do something like that, is probably, at least hopefully, going to give me an opportunity to again manage the trade, remove risk, take some partials. If it does go against me, it does go against me. If we get some follow through, fantastic. Let's see if we can go and wipe out those lows. So yeah, very similar ideas on dollar CAD and pound USD. I don't mind it because again, it's on the higher chart. I wouldn't do this intraday just because news, tighter stops, spreads play a bit more of a factor as well. Higher time frames give me a bit more flexibility. What's up, CS? Welcome to the streamer, man. I hope you're doing good. Yes, DXY came down to 99, got some longs to DXY. Nice. Yeah, you did say you're bullish to 103. Shorts on Euro Pound, longs on JPY and CHF. Okay. Is that longs on JPY and CHF itself or JPY pairs? Small positions on Aussie and New Zealand dollar shorts. Cool. Yeah. Out of the USD pairs, pound USD looked like the better one to me, even better than dollar CAD, which I took yesterday as well. So I'm still very much in the same boat as well. Looking to see if we can get some dollar strength. I'll go take a look at the DXY and then we'll go through some more USD pairs and probably take a look at the yen pairs as well. Yes, we can take a look at NQ as well. No problem. Nick, happy to look at the indices. CS, good to hear, my man. I've been waiting for 99, not too sure if it will go down, but glad I did wait. Well, patience is a key in this game. If you didn't wait, that's the more concerning issue, to be honest, whether 99 holds or not. Yeah, it's all about the patience and following that plan. So kudos to you on that. Euro USD, pound USD. Okay, heavy in the USD situation there. To be honest, I'm not far off as well. I've got two USD pairs on the move right now too. But yeah, I'll go through the DXY and I'll take a look at NASDAQ, and then we'll go through some other currency pairs as well. So yeah, we spoke about DXY yesterday, and I said this is basically the level of support I'm looking for price to bounce. It's either all or nothing really for DXY. It's either we hold the support, we bounce, or if we break through, I'm going to have to start to reinvestigate my bias on the dollar, because I'm not the big fan of the higher time frames, I must say. Yes, we've had that decent trend-ish, higher highs and higher lows, but we have failed twice now at this level of resistance, which is not a good sign. And I do worry if this is just going to turn into a massive range. It could very much do so. So it's quite critical that price holds support and maintains these higher lows and maintains that momentum if we are going to get that eventual breakout to the upside. If price does start to break through this support and trades underneath it, then the probability of us suddenly doing this is quite slim, and we could just end up in a big consolidation or a big down move, and things will change. So from a bullish perspective, which is currently what I'm in, shorting pound, buying dollar CAD, that's very much my bias at the moment. It's quite pivotal. We do hold support here, which we are doing currently. So good news. But of course, things can change. So let's see if we can maintain that. But nice work on the daily. 8 hour nice rejection, of course, pretty much all time frames would have shown that. Now it's to see what we get. Do we get some follow through here? Does price put another lower high in? Intraday, you can see these lower highs price has been making. Are we going to put another one in? We'll have to find out and wait and see. Of course, I'm counting on that follow through for dollar. So I'm counting on a move like this back into that resistance. This is the area which will probably prove me right or wrong. If price does manage to break through this supply zone between 99.6 to 99.7, if we can make a break through that, then we're probably looking good for a push back to resistance. If we start to fail there, I'm going to have to, be patient and wait to see what dollar does bring us, especially if we do come back down. But key support still holding. As long as we maintain that bullish on the dollar, breakthrough bearish. So keeping it very, very simple. In terms of the NASDAQ, we had a brief chat about this one yesterday. I said watch out because we are approaching some areas of supply. So if you are bullish on the NASDAQ, I don't think this is the best place to be looking to stick some longs unless you're very intraday, so you're not looking to hold the trade for too long. On a 4-hour chart, 8-hour chart, this is a pretty decent supply zone. Now, I wouldn't be so confident about a huge swing back to lows here because, again, it is still the NASDAQ. If I scale to the daily chart, we are still very much in a bullish trend. So shorts are still going to be a lower probability setup, even if there is some bearish structure forming. Yeah, it's not a currency pair. It's a very much a bullish indice. So shorts are always going to be very difficult to take, especially for a big swing. So be careful with that. But from a bullish perspective, what I'd like to see is price to rally through this zone. And that's basically my green light to say, okay, we are very likely now to approach the highs here. Because at that point, we don't have much defense from the bears anymore. This is like their last safety net. If that supply level goes, odds on us pushing back to the high and seeing some new highs goes very, very high at that point. So especially if you're intraday, and when I mean intraday, I'm like 15, 5-minute chart, there could be some really nice pullbacks to swing it back to that high. But and if you're looking for shorts, what you could do is kind of wait for a break of this consolidation, because we're a bit flat right now, we're a bit indecisive, stuck at highs, stuck at lows. If we are going to sell off, then you probably would wait for a strong move through that level. If you're intraday, you can look for pullbacks afterwards, or you can even shorten that breakout. I probably would wait for the pullback though, because then you can refine the entry and the stop loss. Having a big stop loss short on the NASDAQ is probably not the best move. So yeah, if you're bullish, wait for some conviction, especially taking out this 25,600 level. Then above that, you probably have a smooth sail back to highs. But yeah, for the indices, we are in a bit of an awkward situation because especially if you're bullish, I don't think it's the best location for it, especially after such a nice rally from last week as well. But going into like the rest of the pairs I'm focused on, it would be majority yen and a couple crosses. The reason why I like the yen so much is because clarity, trend. I've got some alerts set for some of the yen pairs. So for pound yen, I've got alerts set back at this low here. So I'm going to see if price can come back and tag that support. If it rejects it well, if we can find a good entries, stop loss, I will look to see if I can find some entries in this area. I've got an alert set for euro yen as well at this support level here. Looking to see if we can have one more down move. Again, looking for entries at that low with the anticipation that we've still got that momentum at play and still likely to see a continuation back to highs. We still have a very, very clean trend here. It would be rude not to trade this. So euro yen looking very good, and Swiss yen, partner in crime, looking equally as good. Very close to actually testing my low there. Unfortunately, just missing out on that, but not too worried. We could still very much get that move down. Hopefully we don't rally without me, but if we can push down, that'd be fantastic. Similar setup to euro yen, similar setup to pound yen. Looking for price to tag that support level, then hopefully I can find some entries, relatively tight entries in that level, and then hopefully look for continuation back to highs. Very, very bullish markets, just looking to trade what we have in front of us, which is a very strong bullish trend. So dollar yen I do like as well, but I just don't have a clear level to look for a trade entry. Possibly a push back down here, but at that point I'll probably be more reluctant to find some entries at that point, because that's a pretty big pullback at that point and pretty steep one too. If you look at euro and Swiss, they're very flat, more consolidations if anything. So I quite like what we're seeing there. So dollar yen look good coming to the week. I like the idea as well because I'm looking to buy USD and I'm looking to sell the yen. So potentially a very strong currency against a weak currency. Just I don't have a good entry to actually trade this one, unfortunately. So my focus is on the other three yen pairs. These yen pairs here, I'm not interested in one bit for longs at all. And the primary reason for that is because of where they're trading on the higher time frames. If you look at the daily chart, this is Aussie yen coming back into major resistance. It's not that price can't break through this. Of course it can, but I wouldn't want to bet on that. I'd rather we have the breakout and then I look for continuations after that has happened. It makes much more sense. Even the breakout could also be a bit skewed. It could be a fake out. I just think pound yen, euro, Swiss momentum looks good. We're not coming to any big levels. There's a lot cleaner price action there. CAD yen, same situation there too. If you look to the left on the daily chart, massive resistance. Don't really want to be buying into that. Again, with the yen pairs, they're all correlated, and I do expect them all to do the same thing. So if euro, Swiss, and pound and dollar all push up, probably going to see these three pairs push up too. But again, as a technical trader, I've got to focus on the technicals and pick the better technical setup. And that's just not with these three here too. And if you look at New Zealand yen too, I mean, lovely momentum from the past week or two. Again, trading at a very awkward place if I'm looking to buy this one. So those three yen pairs I will negate for now. Maybe if you get some sharp breakouts, I'll look to see what we can find maybe in a couple of weeks' time. But those four yen pairs is where my focus is. And then in terms of USD, I'm already kind of hands tied now because I've got two USD trades going. So I don't want to take a third one. So pound USD, we'll see how that goes. Momentum looks like it's picking up a little bit, but still a long way to go. At least that first TP anyway. Dollar CAD not far from the first take profit. So if you can hit that again, New York session, then we can manage risk. So yeah, USD, yen, looking at longs, and then the two crosses, which I do like. I think I might miss the boat now. Pound Aussie, I really like this one coming into the week. If you guys didn't catch the weekly analysis, this is one of the top setups I recommended from last week's price action. I said pound USD, I said pound CAD, I said pound Aussie. Pound USD I managed to take. Pound Aussie, unfortunately, looks like it's left me in the dust a little bit. I was hoping to see if we can get a retest of that level and then some shorts back into the low, which is where it looks like price is likely headed towards. You've got the consistent price swing highs, so 1, 2, 3, and now I'm looking at a fourth in this area and hopefully a continuation back into that low. So the plan was we had the fake out, taking out the early traders, and then I'm looking to see if we can get the retest of the same zone for the short. I mean, we could still get the retest. It just looks more unlikely as time continues because it looks like momentum's starting to pick up there. So yeah, unfortunately, nothing there with pound Aussie. Pound CAD looks like a similar situation to looking for the retest of that zone. It did actually come pretty close yesterday. And again, it very much still can come back for a retest. But to be honest, I'm not too sure if I will take it just because I'm already shorting pound USD and pound CAD's a similar trade. And pretty much all my trades would be pound USD, pound CAD, USD CAD. So I'm literally trading every single currency twice. So I think I'm a little bit hands tied behind my back in terms of correlation wise. So I probably wouldn't take that. I don't mind pound Aussie too much because you do have the Aussie there, which is quite a different currency to the other ones. So if pound Aussie does set out, I probably would take that one. Pound CAD, I probably wouldn't. Not because it's not a good trade, just because of what I'm currently trading at the moment. Unless I get pound USD to break even in that time, and then I take the trade. So yeah, maybe we get that set up there. Another one I am interested in as well is New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD, I like this one. I still do see more downside for this one. I'm expecting us to go and take out this wick low here. I'm expecting us to eventually come and test the support level. We've been continuously bearish for quite some time for New Zealand CAD. I don't see anything changing in between now and price hitting those support levels. So the plan is very much still looking at shorts. We had a bullish week last week, but to me, that's just another pullback in disguise. I know we've taken out some structure to our left, but I don't see this as a significant structural high. That's one tip to look into when you're looking at market structure, because the markets, especially in the FX world and other markets too, but FX more so, you will get a lot of major and minor structure. And sometimes if you look at every structure and every structural break, you'll be looking to change biases quite often, and probably for the most part too often. I think with every single technical tool, support, resistance, supply and demand, market structure, candlestick patterns, whatever, they have a time and place where they work very, very well, and they have a time and place where they actually don't work too well, and it's actually better to avoid them. And that's same for structural breaks as well. You know, people make the mistake of looking at every single structural break and reading that as gospel. You know, that's good discipline, but at the end of the day, there's many times where price will fake structure and then continue. And a good way to spot that is to look at the significance of this high. You know, for example, if you look at this complete structure here, a break of that high doesn't really tell me much in terms of this overall move, because we've broken highs previously and we've still continued. So for me to be convinced that this is a reversal, I'd probably say I'd want at least 2 structural highs broken. And even then, I'd want to see a lot of conviction there. Even if price kind of just slightly breaks the high here, I'll still be very bearish, looking for a continuation. And these would be like my major highs I'll look at. So still very bearish for New Zealand CAD. I don't really have a setup to trade, which is why I'm not so focused on it right now. I'd rather wait for a push back here, because I can get a solid entry and a stop loss around that target. Right now, price is kind of trading in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we are in this supply zone, but it's too big to find a precise entry and a precise stop loss. So I don't really have an opportunity here for New Zealand CAD. I know what I'm looking to do, and I know where I'm looking to take it. It's just lacking opportunity for entries. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at, to be honest. That's pretty much where I'm at in terms of my focus. What's up, Abs? Welcome to the stream. Can you explain why it's long on dollar CAD on a 30-minute time frame? Well, if you're talking about the trade I took, I didn't take that on the 30-minute. I took that on the 8-hour chart. So because I'm long on the 8-hour chart doesn't mean I'm necessarily long on the 30-minute. You know, each time frame gives you different information and potentially different setups and biases as well. So I'm not long on the 30-minute. I'm long on the 8-hour, and I haven't actually dropped to the 30-minute really to see what's going on there. So the 30-minute is not providing any information for me to take that trade. It was all done on the 8-hour chart. In terms of the 30-minute chart, would I be long bias? I mean, we are starting to pick up some nice momentum here. I like this correction and continuation here. I would see how far this move goes. If we can get some strength and some real follow through with this move, then yeah, there could actually be some nice pullbacks, another flag pattern, basically replicating what we did here. And there could be a nice intraday push back to resistance. I'd watch out because this is a big supply zone. You can see quite a nice consolidation and a pretty aggressive drop there. So I wouldn't want to hold through that, especially with confidence. I'd want to be taking partials along the way, because probability in terms of price coming back down, I would say, is pretty high, especially in the market, which is kind of ranging, to be honest. So it's not a clear path to the upside. But yeah, from a 30-minute chart, I would say I would be bullish actually, because I'm seeing conviction to the upside. And if we can see this give me a bit more follow through, I'll be happy to look for a pullback there. But again, only intraday, maybe a pushback to the high, maybe a bit further. Be prepared for price to roll back over too. So yeah, 30-minute, I would agree for a bullish bias, because we're seeing momentum and structure point that way. So that's why I would be bullish on the 30. But if you're speaking about the trade I took, that was all done on a higher time frame. So the 30-minute has nothing to do with that trade. Good morning, Yusuf. Welcome to the stream. I was about to say welcome to the chart. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good, my man. I'm having a good day so far. Thank you. I hope you're having a wonderful day as well. And a couple of positions at the moment: shorts and pound USD and longs and dollar CAD. Very, very close to hitting that first TP there. Actually, just pullbacks a few pips below that. Hopefully, we can go and hit in the next. Hopefully within this candle. And then yeah, look to start to manage risk a little bit, and then all eyes shift over to pound USD, and hopefully we can do the same. This one's only just begun. Hopefully momentum can pick up and we can go smash that level there too. What's up, Jay? Welcome to the stream, my man. Hope you're well. Do you mind going over New Zealand dollar? Of course, we'll take a look at New Zealand dollar too. That's actually a pair which I do like as well. It's just I don't really have a setup for it. New Zealand CAD and USD, very similar markets, very similar structure right now. I'm both pretty bearish in both of them. It's just I just don't have any entries. So yeah, unfortunately not able to trade it. But to be honest, I wouldn't have traded it anyway because I'm already short on pound and I'm long on dollar CAD. So I've already got a couple USD positions. But anyway, we'll go into some detail on New Zealand dollar. Happy to help, Abs. Happy to help, my man. Yusuf, UJ, GJ in the 15, sure thing, coming right up. So yeah, in terms of New Zealand dollar, I'm pretty bearish on this one as well. In terms of market, actually, let's go to the higher time frame so you can look at the bigger picture. There's actually a very key support level resting around 0.54-ish, 0.546. We'll call it actually 0.55, biggest psychological level. So there's a very key support here, which I'm actually expecting the long-term price to actually go and hit. And we've tested once, sort of twice, of course, missed it there as well, missed it slightly, but price isn't perfect. So I would count those as tests. And I do think we do have, a bit more downside opportunity to go and test that level. So I'm still short bias, expecting this trend to continue. So that's the bigger picture and what I'm expecting. As we drop a little bit to the lower time frames, again, similar to USDCAD, we did get a bit of a break of structure here, but I don't see this as a significant break of structure. And what I mean by that is if it's a significant break of structure, that's where I'll look for a reversal. If it's a break of structure, but I think it's price just maybe taking out some early traders or grabbing liquidity or just having a bit of noise, to be honest, which I deem this to be, that means I'm still bearish and I'm looking more so at the next high to keep us bearish. If price breaks through that too, then I'll rethink things. But yeah, in terms of just finding some entries, I don't really have a place to short because I like shorting from support resistance or areas of supply and demand. If price was to push back to the highs here, then yeah, I've got a level to short from. I've got a place to find entries, a place to put a stop loss above, a place where I'm protected, and hopefully I can take advantage of the swing. With this break here with USD, I don't really have a solid place to base a trade from. In my kind of view, price is trading in the middle of nowhere a little bit. So that's kind of where my conundrum is. I'm very bearish on. I'm expecting a price to push down. I see the next opportunity with USD. Either we get a run back to resistance here and then some shorts near the highs, or perhaps we claw back underneath this level, find a retest, and that's where we can find some better entries, better stop losses, improve our risk to reward ratio, and hopefully from there we can see a swing back to lows there. So very short bias. Either we get a push to 0.58 roughly back to resistance and we can base a trade there, or we climb back underneath this high and we can base a trade there. But right now, I don't really see too much value in where price is trading. And for my bias to be completely invalidated, I would need this structural high to be taken out. So just keeping things simple. If that high goes, we'll look to reanalyze. As long as it doesn't, we're either shorting there or shorting there. And yeah, bias would be at least a push to that swing low. But like I said, we've got some targets lower down. So yeah, I like what I'm seeing with New Zealand dollar. Again, I'm still pretty bullish on the DXY as well. So that's a good confluence. Just no real opportunity just yet. In terms of UJ on the 15, I'm actually looking to buy UJ. I just don't have, again, a good level for an entry just yet. I might investigate this level. Depends how we get there. And depends what's going on with pound USD and dollar CAD. Because I don't want to be trading 3 USD pairs. That's a bit excessive in my opinion. But anyway, dollar yen, very bullish market. Again, just looking at the overall picture, daily chart, lovely bullish trend. Similar to USD, I do see us coming back to test a very key level of resistance, 158.672. I think it's only a matter of time before we do get there. In terms of opportunities to trade this, that's just where I am struggling a little bit right now. If I drop to the 15-minute chart, 15, you might find some nice opportunities because you're a bit more zoomed in. Looks to me that prices run through this low, have a very nice V-shaped reversal here. Momentum has picked up. So I would suggest looking for a nice corrective pullback back into this demand zone. So something like this, and then some longs on the retest of this area. And then at the very least, a pushback to the prior high, if that is going to be the high. And what I would expect is follow through that high to go and attack some of these areas to our left. So dollar yen, very bullish on. You got the backing of the higher time frame. Momentum's on your side. Looks like USD is picking up some strength. Yen looks still very weak to me, especially long term. You got that V-shaped reversal here as prices kind of manipulated this low here. Momentum's picked up. Nice demand zone below you. Pullback continuation there. I think it's a very high probability trade. So yeah, dollar yen, I actually quite like it, especially intraday. I think that's where the opportunity lies. Higher time frame, I just don't see a good place to find a good entry. And apart from this low, I don't see a good place to find a good entry and a good stop loss to keep the risk profile good in terms of the risk to reward. In terms of GJ in the 15, GJ I'm looking to buy actually. I've got an alert set just underneath that low. I'm looking to see if I can find some longs on the 2-hour chart. So this is the support level I'm looking to see if price can run. I wouldn't say it's the best opportunity. Momentum here is kind of plateaued a little bit. We do look a little bit more corrective. But if I can see a deep enough spike into that low and a good enough rejection, and if I can find a good entry tight to the low, then I'll still take it with the impression that I'm just going to look for like a bit of a scalp. So a reaction of this low, and I'll leave a position to run in case we keep going. So that's the way I'm going to look to trade it for pound yen. But in terms of an opportunity on the 15-minute chart, I do think dollar yen looks a little bit better. 15-minute chart. See, I don't like this bearish move here. It's too aggressive. This being very aggressive tells me there's a greater chance that pound yen is likely to come back and test support rather than just form a higher low and continue. Because this is not typical pullback behavior. You want to see a strong up move. You want to see a slower down move, corrective pullback. And that tells you there's a good probability of follow through and continuation. If you're seeing price impulse up and impulse down, that's more of an inverse V-shaped pattern, and you've got higher probability of price doing that. And that's where hopefully this level comes into play, and I can find some opportunities and some entries there too. So yeah, pound yen is the same bias as dollar yen on the higher time frames. Yeah, I would still be looking to long even intraday. I would keep an eye on that low. I'm looking to long in the 2-hour. Probably wouldn't look to buy in the 15. The 15 is a bit too minuscule to be looking for a bounce off that level. I would suggest if maybe momentum picks up for whatever reason, and then similar to dollar yen, you're looking for like an intraday pullback and a continuation back to some of these highs here. So yeah, I don't really have a setup to go into detail with on the 15 for pound yen, but on the 2-hour I do. So yeah, I'll keep my focus more towards dollar yen. Abs, what do you think of ICC strategy when it comes to high time frame? Do you mean ICT? No problem, Jay Jones. Happy to help. Again, I haven't really studied ICT, man, so I can't really comment on that. To be fair, because I have my style of trading, and that's really the style which I'm trying to master. And that's where all my focus and my research goes into. Any strategies outside of that, I don't really pay too much attention to. So ICT, I've never studied it at all, so I can't really comment on high time frame, low time frame. But what I can say with high time frames and low time frames, try not to view them in isolation. Time frames is just fractals of the same information. Daily chart is the exact same as a 1-minute chart, except you've got all the 1 minute stacked together to give you the daily. So try not to treat high time frames and low time frames as too different. They're just tools to see the markets in different lens. And my biggest advice is to use the time frames to find where the best opportunities lie. For example, as a trader who's traded on multiple time frames, I can tell you that sometimes there's some really good trades in the 4-hour chart. Sometimes there's some really good trades in the 8-hour chart. And this doesn't matter what strategy you trade, by the way, ICT, whatever. It's the same goes for every strategy out there. Sometimes you find some really good opportunities in the 4-hour, sometimes in the 8-hour, sometimes in the daily even, and sometimes you find some really good opportunities in the 5-minute. The edge will come in different locations and in different time periods. So if you do limit yourself to one time frame, that's fine, but be prepared that you might have to wait a few days, weeks, whatever, it depends on your time frames you're using, for the opportunities and then your edge to start to arrive back in the markets. So in terms of ICT on the higher time frame, I don't know the strategy, but I would assume you'd find some really good opportunities in the higher time frames. But there's going to be some instances where you're going to have to wait quite some time before the next good trade happens. If you're prepared for that, then go for it. Same thing for the style of trading I'm trading right now, which is why I utilize different time frames. And recently, I made the switch to looking intraday time frames as well, is because on the higher time frames, there are times where I don't take trades too often because my edge has disappeared, or sometimes I might force some trades and take some worse opportunities, which again just doesn't benefit me any way, shape, or form. But if I have the ability to scale to a lower time frame in certain instances where the opportunity is more crisp in terms of a better entry, stop loss placement, and risk reward ratio, then I don't have to try and force trades on a higher time frame or just not take trades at all, because you have that flexibility. So I would advise looking at multiple time frames, but only kind of limit yourself to one or two. So for example, maybe your higher time frame is your 4-hour chart, and your lower time frame might be like a 30 or 50. So yeah. But ICT, yeah, I can't speak too much on that because I haven't studied it. Fib, what's up? First time here. Can you show your trade history accounts you're dealing with? I don't share my trading accounts because that's my personal information and finances. But I do share all my trades, or most of my trades, on the streams. And if you go to my membership on YouTube, I do share trades which I do take live. So you have a kind of a history of my trades there. But I'm not going to show my accounts because that's my personal information and my finances. What strategy do you follow? I kind of trade support resistance really. Again, I don't really have like a strategy in terms of a name. I think that's one of the big problems that everyone kind of finds on social media. You always have to have a strategy name and a strategy ideology and follow whatever everyone else is doing. Whatever strategy you're trading, you're always basically buying support or selling resistance. In some way, shape, or form, you might wait for a fake out, you might wait for price to tap into a certain confluence area, but essentially you're buying where other people are buying, you're selling where other people are selling. If you weren't doing that, you wouldn't make any money because you don't have enough buying or selling pressure to move the market in your favor. So you have to be buying with other buyers, you have to be selling with other sellers. Essentially, my trade strategy is looking just to pick the best environments, for example, trends or even consolidation, and look to see if I can find the best areas to pick up that trend, whether up or down, or if it's a range, best areas in terms of the highest, the extreme location to short the range, or the extremes to buy the range, depending if we're at resistance or support. But yeah, I don't really have a name for the strategy. It's just looking to find crisp areas of support with significant buying pressure, being patient, not being the first one into the trade, and using risk to reward to increase the size of my wins and keep my losses small. But yeah, I would classify support resistance, but you can call it what you want. Okay, we'll take a look at gold. To be honest, yeah, with gold and silver is actually quite interesting because I actually didn't really pay attention to silver actually. I haven't been paying attention to gold or silver, to be honest, but I looked at silver the other day and I was like, oh, silver's actually made some new highs. So I was quite interested with that. And then I looked at gold, and gold, not quite so. I don't know if gold's going to play catch up with silver, or silver's going to drop hard to play catch up with gold. Either which way, they're both still very bullish markets. But I'll be careful with gold. Because we are still failing at resistance, and we didn't really see as big enough breakout for me to be looking for a pullback. I think it's still quite dangerous. No problem, Fib. Happy to help. Don't care what your trade information, rather. I want to see your teaching is protected by your results. Yeah, I mean, I do share my results on my members subscription. So if you want to check out the members on YouTube, you can check it out. I mean, these streams, I just do it to develop community. I share my trades, wins, losses, break evens. I've been sharing my trades on YouTube since 2020. 2020. I don't claim to be the best trader ever. I claim to trade what I put out, and that's it. If you want to follow me, if you want to learn from me, fair play. If you want to just, there are many people here who can trade themselves, but they just stick around because they enjoy the company and the chat. If you don't like it, then you know where the door is. But yeah, if you want to see in terms of signals and my trades live, then I do share them with my members. No problem. Happy to help. But yeah, in terms of gold, gold, I just wouldn't look to do anything here because my instincts with gold be looking to follow the trend and look for longs. However, I wouldn't be looking to trade a pullback opportunity after a strong rejection of a high like that. That doesn't make any sense to me. So, I mean, I did say yesterday, if we can have a considerable breakout, so like a commanding breakthrough this high, then that would be different because then I'm seeing conviction, I'm seeing follow through. Then I would anticipate that down move to be a pullback for a continuation. Otherwise, it looks to me that price is just simply rejecting that high, and I'm trying to buy the rejection, which I'm always going to be up against it because you've just got adding selling pressure coming back into that high, and you're trying to take the opposite side of that. It could work, it's all probability at the end of the day, but I don't think that's a high probability opportunity there. So in terms of gold, yes, we're coming back into some areas of demand which we may bounce from. I just wouldn't be getting too excited about a huge follow through here. A huge follow through here. If price can find that follow through, great. Then I would be happy to take the next leg up because then I don't have the noise of what's going on the left. I'm above that. And then in terms of probability of price pushing to the high, it's extremely high. We've got higher time frames supporting that narrative. You've got the clear uptrend there as well. So it makes sense for a continuation. The odds of price suddenly just reversing from here and melting to the downside, of course, anything can happen, but it's pretty slim. We're likely going to take out these highs first before we do something like that. So you got yourself a good bet if we can see some continuation. If not, we could see that happen. A rejection of the high, maybe a push back into this demand level, then we'll go from there. So I don't really have a good opportunity on gold either as well. I would wait for a stronger breakout and then look for some pullbacks. Otherwise, yeah, I wouldn't look to trade it, to be honest. I would not look to trade it. But yeah, in terms of silver as well, I think silver's the better trade. You got a clear break of highs there. In terms of momentum, it's clear for everyone to see. The context is clear, momentum is clear. Now you're just looking for a good opportunity to stick a trade on. If I can drop to a more intraday chart, actually, if I drop to 30-minute, yeah, I would suggest if we can spike into this low, that to me looks like a great place for an opportunity. Even this low here as well. I mean, they're very close together. So what you could do is ignore this low here and just focus on this low. Because when you do have two support levels stacked together very closely, it's better just to focus on the further one or the more significant level, because that's where you'll have more liquidity and more strength underneath. And it would make just a lot more sense, because if you had a stop loss in between the levels, it just doesn't make too much sense to me. If you have like a stop loss here, it just looks like it's prone to getting stopped out. So I'd always wait for the bigger level to be tested. Yeah, sometimes you might miss a trade, but it makes a lot more logical sense, and you will stop yourself getting faked out a lot more. So yeah, in terms of silver, I probably would just negate this level here and focus more to 56.4 and look for a bounce here. Again, not looking to shoot for the stars here. The real benefit of looking to buy from this level is because it's significant support in a very bullish climate. So the odds of price reacting with this level is pretty high. So you're likely to see a bounce. Whether price will see a follow through to the high here or not, that's a completely different question. And that's up to the market. You can't predict those moves to a high degree. What you can predict to a fairly high degree is a bounce of support here. And then we'll see what happens. Maybe price rolls back over against you. Maybe you see a massive follow through and we're seeing new highs potentially. But yeah, I would say silver's the better trade by country mark because direction is clear, support is clear. I'm not trading to any significant levels. It makes just a lot more sense to me. So yeah, if we can hopefully find some opportunities on some pullbacks there, I do think silver will be good. I'm not really interested in trading silver right now. Like I said, I've got my alerts set on dollar yen, euro yen, not dollar yen, sorry, pound yen, euro yen, Swiss yen, and I've got 2 trades on pound USD and dollar CAD right now. So to be honest, I don't really want to get into another USD pair. Unless I get one of them to break even, then I don't mind. And then if I can get to yen, that would be great as well. One of the yen pairs too. I hope they haven't left me behind. It looks like euro yen might have done that. We might come back down. Swiss looks a lot better in terms of the probability of us to see that down move. Pound yen looks pretty likely, I would say. But then there's a bit of a contradiction there, buying pound yen and selling pound USD. Normally, because it's a high time frame, I wouldn't mind, but because I already have a correlated situation with pound USD and dollar CAD, I probably wouldn't take it, to be honest. Unless I can get one of those to break even first, then I will. Because my kind of principles are you don't really want to take correlated markets, but if you're in a higher time frame, it's a bit less risk. You lower lot sizes, less what's the word I'm looking for? Less exposed to news as well. Because again, the real danger of taking trades which are correlated is that they're both likely fail together or both likely work together, which isn't necessarily bad because it's equivalent of taking 2 losses or 2 wins. You're going to take that at some stage, so it's not necessarily too bad as long as your risk is managed as well. If you're not betting your half your account on each position, then of course you're asking for trouble. But if your risk is managed, taking 2 correlated positions, is not the end of the world, especially in a higher time frame. On an intraday chart, like anything below hour, I probably wouldn't do that just because I'm using higher lot sizes. My margin for error is a lot slimmer. I'm more exposed to news, spreads widening as well. So if I do get done pretty badly on one, I'll probably get done pretty badly on both. So for that reason, I would avoid it. But higher time frames, I can get away. Without showing your accounts or performance, I can't take you serious. Rather, another fog seller. Cheers. Okay, that's fine, my man. I wasn't counting on you taking me serious anyway, bro. Again, with the streams, me being very clear because I've been streaming for the past 5 years on YouTube. I share my trades. I share my methodology and how I trade. I share my losses, wins. People see that live. I've shared losing streaks live, winning streaks live for years. I'm not claiming to be the best trader in the world. I'm still learning on my journey, getting better and better. If you want to stick around, you can stick around. If you want to see my trading history and my account details, that's very personal to me. I do share my trades here so you can see exactly what I'm trading. But in terms of my finances, in terms of my personal account, I want to keep that to myself and to my accountant. If you don't agree with that, if you want to see the full history and the trades, that's fine. I do share my trades live on my members so you can see all the trades I do take. If you agree with that or not, it's perfectly fine, man. Like, there's no love lost. There's no love lost at all. And again, I'm not here to please everyone. I very much sure I'm not going to please everyone. And especially with the thing is, I get it too. Trading is a very sketchy industry online at 100%. I can see it as well. So I understand where he's coming from. You want to make sure you're learning from a person who's legit and you can really trust. I understand that. at the end of the day, I'm a human being too, and I've got my privacy, which I want to keep to myself. I do share my trades. If that's not enough, then I really don't care, to be honest. But that's the ethos of the channel, to be honest. But again, I completely get where he's coming from. But yeah, to be honest, not really. I don't really have too much on the watch list apart from. I appreciate that, Dre. Appreciate that. If you guys are enjoying the content, by the way, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and check out the memberships because I do share my trades there as well. I will be posting more videos in terms of like just kind of having chats. To be fair, I'm actually I don't know if, because I saw a post. I don't know if you guys know Kimmel. He's also a trader that posts on YouTube as well. But he had a post yesterday, which I saw, a community post, which he said that he had to take all his trades, all his trade breakdown videos off YouTube. So I'm not too sure. But apparently YouTube's cutting down on that, like sharing trades. So I'm not even sure if I might be able to continue with the live streams. I'm actually a bit worried about that. I need to research into that. So yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. I don't know if YouTube's changing their policy on, because it's like a financial situation. But anyway, I'm gonna do like more videos of like kind of just sit down chat videos, different topics, risk management, entries. Of course, I will do technical videos too. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, to be honest. So that will still come, but I will do more kind of like sitting down talk videos as well. Not like blabbering too long, just quick 5-10 minute videos, which I'll post online as well. Like I said, execution, risk management, finding edge, how to improve your strategy, improving your risk to rewards, just improving your whole approach to the market, and of course sharing my journey and how I do that as well. So look out for those videos. No problem, LFTJ. Happy to help. But yeah, at the moment, I'm just going to manage pound USD and dollar CAD. There's nothing else to do at this moment in time. Like I said, I'll keep an eye on pound yen, but I'm kind of banking that I'll get pound USD or dollar CAD to break even. I think I'll get to dollar CAD to break even before that. So then I can look into some longs in pound yen and maybe euro yen if it does pull back, or Swiss yen if it does pull back. Besides from that, New Zealand CAD, don't really have a setup there. Pound Aussie, I do have a setup, but it just doesn't look like it's going to pull back for me. So yeah. We'll focus on those. Hopefully, I'll get the yen pairs to shape up. Yeah, it's I'm trying to stay ahead of the curve a little bit. To be honest, I don't really know the full situation. I need to read up on it, but I saw the post that he had to delete all his trade breakdown videos, and YouTube is cranking down on people who in the online trading finance space. To be honest, so yeah, I'm not too sure what's going to happen. To be honest, maybe the streams continue. I mean, to be fair, I'm going to keep doing the streams until YouTube tell me I have to stop, to be honest. So I'll keep going until that happens. But yeah, just in terms of like, but being a bit careful about it. So I'm tiptoeing around a little bit. Yes, a dollar. I don't like dollar CHF. I don't like dollar CHF. It's one of my USD pairs, which I'm not a big fan of right now. We'll go through it though. No one's praying for people to make money. This conspiracy is. I believe in that kind of, to be honest, because there's a lot of weird things online which are not getting clamped down, which do nothing to help society or help people. But then other things which are actually useful, are then getting clamped down on. So yeah, there's a lot of things that don't make sense today. I'm not going to lie. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, I don't have the power to control that. To be honest, I think I will kind of create my own platform where I'll post videos. Um, so I have full control of that platform. So I will actually look to develop that. Um, Maybe a feature I can live stream too as well. But for now, we'll see what YouTube has in store. There's always Twitch as well. There's always Twitch. I could stream on Twitch too. I'm not too sure about how that works, but it's another software I can keep an eye out. But yeah, we're just gonna have to get on with it, to be honest, unfortunately. But yeah, in terms of dollar CHF, the one reason why I'm not a big fan of dollar CHF is just because of the conditions. It's just very, very flat. So, and when price is flat like this, there's either two things I'm looking to do. I'm either looking to sell at the high or buy at the low, or I'm just waiting for the breakout. I want to do my very best to avoid trading inside of this, because my thinking is that that's where a lot of traders give back their profits and just take, not really worthy trades. There's not a lot of edge in here. The edges at the extremes or waiting for the momentum that will follow after a breakout. So although I'm pretty bullish on USD, and I do think dollar CHF, being a USD pair, most likely will start to trend higher, I'd rather just wait for this breakout and then look for continuations after. Just an easier trade to find, probability is a lot higher, easier to catch. Trying to find some buys here where you can see a lot of choppy behavior. Break evens are more prone. You might catch a nice entry, but then because of how choppy price is, it might rally in your favor, come back and stop you at break even, and then continue. You're more prone to that situation in these choppier conditions. When momentum is high, of course, that could happen too, but less likely. Price is likely to more follow through and continue because that's where momentum's taking it. So the odds of price coming back to take you break even is a little bit slimmer. More prone in these areas. So yeah, dollar CHF, I am bullish. I like the idea of looking to long. I mean, it looks to me that we've had this impulse and this looks like a correction for a continuation, but it's just the context kind of ruins things. So yeah, if we can see that breakout, then I'll look for the next pullback, because then we've got the breakout and then I can be a bit more confident with the continuation. Otherwise, it's a bit sketchy in there. Yeah, it would be Yusuf transition to Twitch. Yeah, I mean, like, worst case scenario, if YouTube say I can't do it, then there's not much I can do. I would look at other platforms. Twitch is the first one that comes to mind. I'm sure there's other platforms, to be honest, but we'll experiment, to be honest. And like I said, I'll probably try and create my own platform where I can post videos without having to. I mean, there will have to be disclaimers, of course, but I will have a bit more freedom. Shoot the words out of my mouth. Yeah, that's the reality of social media today's age. Appreciate that, Dre. Appreciate that. But yeah, guys, we're going to wrap up the stream here. I'm doing slightly shorter streams. I'm still going to do Monday to Friday. I'm doing slightly shorter streams at the moment. I'm still in Kigali. But yeah, I'm going to do shorter streams. I'm going to do more uploads as well, so more videos as well, probably twice a week. So do keep up to date with those. I'll be posting one tomorrow. Yeah, I'll post one tomorrow and another one on Friday as well. If there's any requests, by the way, for certain topics or videos, just stick them in the chat in the comment section of any video. I do see them. So if you do have any requests, just stick it in the chat and I can do a video on that. Gold 15, sure thing. We can wrap it up with gold. See, I'm actually gold 15. You might find some nice downside, to be honest. You might find some downside. I said for the longs, I would wait for another break of the high, so a more established breakout and then a pullback and a continuation. So that's what I'm looking at for the longs. In terms of a short, because you are seeing momentum pick up here, you might find a short-term sell, just like we had here. Nice impulse, double top, lovely continuation. If you can pull back with some crispness, I do think you can essentially see a similar trade there as well. Now, I wouldn't look to shoot for the moon here with gold, because we are coming back into areas of demand where buyers are sitting. Gold is still a very bullish market too, so taking any type of short is always slightly lower probability just because of the context of the market. But because you are seeing conviction to the downside, bearish structure, you can definitely get away with looking for another swing high. As we start to approach 4170, 4160, 4150, I would be very careful for those shorts and try and scale out of that position. The bigger move, I'm still looking at the buys, but I wouldn't be looking to try and buy gold on the 15 just yet. I want momentum to be in my favor, and then I can talk about some longs, when that happens, maybe later this week or next week or whenever. So yeah, gold shorts look good. I like this bearish leg. Momentum looks good. Basically, just looking for the repeat of the pattern of the previous swing high, and then another continuation. And as we approach this zone, that's where I would be a bit more careful. So yeah, that's kind of where I would leave it with gold. Short-term sells, still very bullish. So yeah, don't be looking to hold for a big move because you are up against it. But anyway, guys, I am in 2 positions, so I will update you guys tomorrow's stream of how this goes. In a little bit of profit there for pound USD. I entered this morning, and dollar CAD. That's not dollar CAD. And dollar CAD I entered yesterday. Did take some heat on a push down. I entered on the open of this candle. It did go against me, but luckily enough, some momentum picked up towards the end of yesterday. We're looking pretty good now. I do have my TP1, which is just 1 arm profit, just floating above current price. So hopefully we can go and test that, and I can remove my risk and take some partials. The plan of the trade is see if we can look for the biggest swing there. But the thing about looking for big targets, a lot can happen between your entry and the big target. There's a big supply level here. Price might react with, I don't know. But if we can see the full swing and this trend continues, great. I look to scale the rest of my profits out at the high. And yeah, I'll keep you up to date. If I do take any new positions, of course, we'll break down in the stream tomorrow as well. If I do, it's probably likely a pound yen or maybe like a euro yen or Swiss yen trade. I don't really see anything else forming by then. But yeah, guys, appreciate you tuning into the stream. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in, dropping likes, subscribing to the channel. If you haven't done already, please drop a like and subscribe if you did enjoy the stream and found it useful. If you're enjoying the content, a lot more content coming to you guys in terms of streams and uploads as well. So hit the bell so you don't miss out on any of that. Again, I will be live tomorrow, same time as always, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. UK time. So I do hope to see you all there. And yeah, we'll discuss markets, have some fun, and hopefully take some profits from the market. But guys, have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care.